Now the topic of women has become number 2 after jihad and Islam was spared by the sword. Initially it was number 1. So if you read my book on misconceptions about Islam, if you read the old edition, the topics of women were on top. Now they are second in order. I remember in 1994, I gave a talk on women's rights in Islam, modernizing or outdated. And I remember that was my second big public talk. The first was Quran and Modern Science, Conflict or Conciliation. And this was my second talk in 1994. I'm talking about a big public gathering. And I gave a talk on women's rights in Islam, modernizing, outdated. If you agree with how the Western media portrays Islam, you have no option but to agree it's outdated. But today, let us understand the true women's rights in Islam. Therefore, the topic of my talk today is the true gender equality, an Islamic solution. Before we delve into the topic, I would like to make a few points clear that today the Muslim population is more than 25%. It's about more than 26%. More than 1/5 of the world population today, more than 2 billion human beings today, every 5th person in the world today is a Muslim. But some Muslim societies are close to Islam, while the others are far away from Islam. As far as women's rights in Islam is concerned, you should not judge women's rights in Islam by looking at an individual Muslim or the Muslim society. It should be judged by analyzing the authentic sources in Islam. The authentic sources in Islam are, number 1, the glorious Quran, and number 2, the authentic ahadith, the Sahih hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The sayings and actions, the authentic sayings and action of our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So to understand Islam, you should analyze the Quran and the Sahih hadith, not look at individual Muslims or what Muslims do or what the Muslim society does. There may be sometimes where scholarly opinions regarding women's rights may differ. And sometimes it's due to quoting some verse of the Quran and neglecting the other verses of the Quran on the topic. If we analyze Quran as a whole, then many a times the reference of one aspect of the women's rights is given somewhere else also in the Quran or in the authentic hadith. Never will the Quran contradict itself, neither the authentic hadith contradict itself, nor would the Quran contradict the authentic hadith. So if we analyze the Quran as a whole, most of these differences, along with the Sahih hadith, they can be resolved. It's the duty of every Muslim, man or woman, that he should seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His main test in this world is to follow the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Seek His pleasure. He should not do it for fame or for popularity or for personal gains.